the new Kenya Barris show is on Netflix, right?
Yes.
Netflix has a lot of black programming.
Right.
We also saw this other show that just came on called
Is it 100?
100 Humans, and they're doing good.
Quite entertaining.
Quite entertaining. They're doing some scientific stuff, but it's comical, but yet serious at the same time. Well done.
Yeah.
But right here, multicultural. That's right. Not diverse, but multicultural. That's right, people. So Kenya Barris has a new show called #Beauty. That is one of the most ingenious things to do, to use a hashtag as a television show.
Right.
And people are just going to hashtag it.
Right.
And it's just going to just blow just blow up, drop the bomb. You know what I mean? So #BLACK capital A capital F. Black ass funk. Okay, we'll just say it like that, right?
Okay.
So Kenya Barris.
Yeah.
This is loosely based on his life,
right?
But it's kind of like a Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah, like a Curb Your Enthusiasm meets Modern Family.
Modern Family. That's right, and it's like the hyperdrive of Blackish.
Right.
It's like taking it, putting the pedal to the metal, and pushing this hyper.
Right.
It's just incredible. It's just an incredible show, right? So look, there's episodes 5 and 6 actually go into some charted waters. Do you know that there are people who are black people who are downing this show?
Well, you know what? When you told me that, I was, surprised, but it reminded me of, like, right now, of course, everyone, says, "Oh, I love the Cosby Show," but I remember during the period of the Cosby Show, the height of the Cosby Show, and some people were like,
"That's not real."
Didn't like the Cosby Show, and we shit on the Cosby Show.
That's not real. People, blacks don't live like that.
Yeah, they do, right? But it's funny because now everybody loves the Cosby Show, quote unquote, right? Mm-hmm. But during that period, there were people who had an issue with the Cosby Show. So I'm just kind of seeing the same thing now with this show.
Mm-hmm. Because the generations have changed. And one of the arguments that they're talking negatively about it is that the children are pretty much unruly and off the top, right? They're cursing at the parents and things. And I think this is a different generation. We're moving. There's a transition that's happening that some black people don't want to see. Like when people realize that whippings and beatings come from, just like what they say on the show, because of slavery,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Blame it on slavery. Every title has because of slavery in it, right? And so once you start to realize that the beatings and the whippings are a direct correlation to going back and having the lashings and the whips, whipping you into submission, then you find out. Did you see the meme? Oh, no, I didn't get a chance to show you, but I talked about it. It's a meme where there's an older woman. She's the grandmother, and the little girl is about maybe 13 or 14.
Oh, you told me about it.
And she's dressed kind of like with a short skirt on or whatever, and she has on a hoodie and a short skirt, and her legs are out. And the grandmother has 2 big frying pans, and she is beating this girl with the frying pans. Now, I don't know how old this is, but she is beating the beating the little girl with the frying pans. And it'd be different if she was, well, it wouldn't be any different, but it wouldn't be good. But she's beating her about her legs, and the little girl's putting her hands up, and she's putting her hood up to try to block, because someone is filming it, with their cell phone. And she's trying to block her face. The grandmother pulls the hood down and is trying to hit the girl in the face.
That sounds
with
like
the frying pan, right? Like, so how far is it from just reprimanding, trying to get a person? Are you saying that if I beat her face up, then she won't be attractive to men, and I won't have to worry about her getting pregnant. Is that the logic? So in this show right here, hashtag Black as Funk, right? Just call it that. You know what the word is, right? Black as Funk. The kids are allowed to be human. And that's what I often discuss with you about. When will black people be allowed to be human? We had a mutual friend who they cursed around their parents, right? You know what I mean? And we've seen Caucasian people curse around their parents, right? And they're both cursing back and forth. And so there's a transition happening, and people have to get with the program that you know, if you're not putting your hands on your children, but you're still rearing them in the right way, they can be free to express themselves. And this is what people are complaining about, because once you start getting into the point where you start saying that people are, you know, you're going to whip the person, it gets to that extreme, doesn't it? It gets to some slavery type shit because of slavery.
Don't children... They run around and they're playing, and if people want to use the term unruly, but just at like a when we were at my grandparents' house, last summer, and the children were all running around making noises and stuff. What did the adults do? Okay, stop, time to stop, calm down. That's what kids do. But as adults, we tell them, hey, stop all of that running around and stuff. I mean, that's what children do. Isn't that normal? Like, kids are going to run around and play, and then we have to say, stop, you're going to hurt yourself. That's what we do. So it's normal. It's normal that kids run around, and it's normal for adults to intervene and say, hey, stop, you're going to hurt yourself. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, from what you're telling me, people are doing a lot of nitpicking on social media.
They're doing a lot of nitpicking. But then there was one person, because I'm part of a black film group on a certain social media site that doesn't need promotion, so we won't say the name, right? And so I'm on there, it's a black film group, and the one person said that it's funny how black people will like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Modern Family.
Right.
But they won't, they're coming down on Kenya Burris for this. I mean, so it's really weird. And there's an episode on there, episode 5. It's either 4 or 5 or 6, right? And it's an episode on there where they talk about just that, where the Kenya Burris character, which is a hyper version of himself, watches a film, an early screening of a film, and he and the main daughter, who is producing a documentary about the family. He says, that's why you're my favorite. But then he slips up in one of the episodes and tells another one. But anyway, you have to watch it. But it's on Netflix. And he says that he and the daughter couldn't stand the film. And the mother was sitting there. And she was like, she was laughing and she enjoyed it. And then he gets, it's amazing because he gets the 6 powerhouses on a conference call. Right? And when you watch it, you'll see who the 6 powerhouses are right now, and they talk about
great episodes.
Great episode. And then something happens at the screening because they wanted him to sit on the panel for a public screening and give his opinion. So you have to watch it. So it's a Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I think that it's better because it's dealing with issues and dealing with comedy that everyone will understand, but it's dealing with something from hashtag Black as Funk. So let's get a cast real quick before we get a rating on it.
Of course, starring Kenya Barris, who, did we mention he's a powerhouse, creator of Blackish, Grownish, Mixedish, as well as producer of Girls Trip. Just he does everything.
Barbershop, The Final Cut. So I mean, he's got his pulse on what makes people funny, and this one is taking you and pushing you to expand your mind. Who else?
Also starring Rashida Jones as his wife, Iman Benson, Janaea Walton, Scarlett Spencer, Ravi Colbert Conyers, Richard Whitney, Justin Claiborne. Now this is kind of the immediate family, but then as you watch the different episodes, you'll see special guest appearances. There are so many actors and actresses and directors and producers. It's just, I mean,
they have we have to say this. They have Tyler Perry on there.
On one of the episodes.
On one of the episodes. And it's the same episode when you see
all the powerhouses.
The powerhouses, right? In black filmmaking today, right?
Actors, actresses, comedians. I mean, you have to watch it.
And Kenya Barris's character is plagued with worrying about what Caucasians think about him and his productions or his people in general. Right. And so that's his character, and that's the character flaw within the character, and so it pushes on from there. So it's something to expand your mind and look at, and if not to expand your mind, it will, but if not, it's to be entertained. And the question is, when will we be able to produce something that just entertains? It may not be your cup of tea, but just keep it moving.
It's thought-provoking. It's entertaining. Can I just say, in one of my episodes, I love this, and I talked about it afterwards, Tyler Perry.
He
said, I don't give a fuck.
That was it. We might as well say black as fuck.
That was like one of my favorite episodes. I mean, this show is just great. I mean, we talked about the style, the clothing, attire.
So cinematography, because it's shot from, there's a camera crew following the family around because the main daughter, played by Iman, is doing a documentary about her family, and she's self-editing because she's doing this as her senior year project, and also to submit it to get into film school.
Is she the narrator?
She is the narrator, right? She's the reliable narrator.
Very reliable.
Well, she's unreliable because she has a certain
subjective.
It's not objective; it's subjective. So she's unreliable, right? And so it's shot from that format, so you will get angles, but the way that they tell the story with film grammar, that's a 10. The use of movement of the camera, that's a 10. The lighting, 10. The sound quality, of course, 10. Picture, 10. Introduction of characters, 10. Arcing of characters by the end of the first episode or the second episode, or as they're introduced, they begin to arc, and you get to find out who they are by the end of the episode that they're produced. That's a 10. The writing on it, 10. Witty, challenging. It's very challenging. If you think that life is supposed to be a certain way for black people, then you will be totally challenged by hashtag black ass funk, okay?
Because you see that it doesn't matter what your economic background is. When you're black, you're dealing with the same bullshit at all levels.
All levels, right? So overall, what would you rate hashtag black ass?
I mean, I love the writing, right? Thought provoking. I mean, it's funny, right? I love the design, like the home.
The home design.
I love the art. They introduce you to art on the show. Also,
and speaking of art, I want to see the big bust that looks like the big head that you see the profile of that looks like it's a big head of him, kind of like the black heads that you saw down in what would be the Aztec Indian area, but actually black people were there first. So I want to see if they get to that big head of his in one of the episodes, right?
Like that serial design is just like nice. I love the black art. One episode, 'cause we're not going to give everything away. One of the artists that created this beautiful work of art in their home is in an episode, so you get to meet him.
And then there's their clothing. Like
so stylish.
Like within episodes, he's changing from different styles of clothing, right?
Right.
And so I mean, it's very interesting. Keep going though. Keep going.
Hilarious. You know what I love too? I love kind of because it's kind of like loosely based on his life, right? So comparing the characters on that show to Blackish, right? So it's like, okay, these two daughters together kind of remind me of the character on Blackish, and the son is that character, and then the daughter has the personality of the one daughter, Diane. So it's kind of nice,
but it's hyper.
Yeah.
It's hyper active versions of what you see on Blackish, and it will challenge you. So what would you give it?
A 10.
A 10.
Because I'm the type, like, I watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, right? Modern Family, right? Like Seinfeld, right? So, and then I watched Blackish and Grownish and
which the precursors were like shows from the 90s, like Married with Children.
Yeah.
Which was really, the stuff that they... the content and the subject matter that they had on Married with Children wouldn't pass the censor test.
Or an All in the Family or the Jeffersons wouldn't pass the censor test
they
today,
wouldn't.
right?
They wouldn't, no.
So I love how he says what's on his mind. Because see, again, I watched the Jeffersons. I love the Jeffersons. I love Sanford and Son. I love how Red Fox just said what the hell was on his mind. Fred Sanford, right? Because Fred Sanford reminded me of my grandfathers on both sides of the family, right? So I loved All in the Family, you know. So I love shows like that, right? So Black, you know, hashtag Black AF on Netflix. Black as fuck. I love the show.
Yeah, that's it.
I love the show. I mean, it's just for everything you said, and it's like thought provoking. I love the dialogue. It's entertaining. So,
I mean, that's what I'll say. So people, I give it a 10 for everything that we broke it down. This is a breakdown. You know, seeing the powerhouses plus the additional powerhouse. Having an interpersonal conversation with him face to face with Tyler Perry in that episode.
Right.
Beautifully done. That's a 10. You have to watch this. You have to watch the episodes.
Right.
You will be challenged by this.
Right.
If you believe that black people are only supposed to be one way,
we're not.
You will be challenged by this show.
Right.
Hashtag Black AF. Right.
Right.
So people, this has been another robust.
Let's say one more thing before we leave.
Go ahead.
This whole thing that black people are one way and have one thought process is just...
should be one way, because everybody knows we don't think like a monolith, but we should think like a monolith on certain things.
Politics
to get over the hump.
But as far as like,
and let me say this before you finish.
Okay, go ahead.
And thinking like a monolith and being able to finally think and be able to be free to be fully conceived and fully recognized as human is what this show talks about. So it will challenge you. And so we have to start thinking like a monolith to say that we have the right on this earth to be a man, to be and a woman, to be respected as a human being, to have a right on this earth as a human being in this society, on this earth, and this day by any means necessary. And right now, any means necessary is through celluloid or digital. Hashtag Black AF. So what were you saying?
I mean, like, people, it's just so funny to me because they like American Black, like as if we're all like just like one way. We come in all shades.
Mm-hmm.
We have all mixtures in our family,
Mm-hmm.
all various types of hair,
Mm-hmm.
various shades of eye color.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so and it's just like we have those in the family that can dance. That's what I love about this show. We have some people in the family that can dance, some people that can't. We have some people that can sing, some people that can't, you know. I mean, I just love that it's just down to earth. I love how it hits, you know, all like the different stereotypes. And he, I don't know, it's just a good show. People, so check it out.
So check it out. Right.